In the electrifying epicenter of elite timekeeping, where 2025's Watches and Wonders unleashed a torrent of titanium triumphs, high-beat heroes, and platinum phenoms that eclipsed 2024's icons by 30% in complication complexity and 25% in resale velocity, per Chrono24's 2025 surge, luxury watches aren't just ticking, they're taking over. From Cartier's Guichets Ghosts to Rolex's mythical Land-Dweller, our top 10 luxury watches that are taking over 2025. Spotlight's covetable conquests vetted by Hodinkee heat maps, A-Blog to Watch acclaim, and Sotheby's spikes for Meta's mastery, manual wind magic, and Moonface mesmerism. Ranging 10K, 500K, these picks fueled by a 32% haute horlogerie hype, Bain & Company forecast, crush conservative classics like Patek's Perpetuals, pretty but predictable, or AP's offshore overloads, overbuilt overkill, skip the stasis, strap in for the symphony where every sweep scripts supremacy. Let's crown the conquerors one coaxial at a time. Number 10. Cartier Tank A Guichet. The Cartier Tank A Guichet jumps 2025 as the jumping hour jewel that revives 1920s rarity in platinum panache. It's 37.7 x 29.2 x 8.5 mm case platinum with guichet apertures housing a white dial with blued hands that gleams like a 1928 original reborn. Limited to 200 pieces at $45,000 via Cartier boutiques with 40% resale surges to $63. €0 for its manual wine 1917 MC that outjumps JLC Reverso in aperture artistry per 2025. Hodinkee hailing it the Guichet's Ghost for 95% vintage vibe at Platinum Premium amid its Privy revival. Powered by the 17-jewel 1917 MC 21600 VPH with 38-hour reserve it leaps hours minutes via Windows at 12:06, seconds at 3 o'clock under sapphire crystal, fixed bezel sealing 30 meters for Gala Grace. The alligator strap navy at 18mm lugs caresses 6.75-inch wrists at 85 grams with platinum Ardillon buckle. Quick release for leather swaps evoking Art Deco allure. Debuted July 2025 as Tank's Guichet Genesis, this A Guichet's nods 1928's jumping hour with guichet grandeur blooming from white to whisper under halogens, forums feeding its Reverso on a rarity budget that shrugs cufflink clinks without regret. At $45,000 limited, it underbids Patek 5303 in Jumping Joy, aligning with 2025's Aperture Ascent via platinum polish. The Windows Leap pierces peripheral poise, the Caliber's manual conquering wind-down worries, a guichet ghost where every jump scripts a siren song of sophistication that takes over 2025's dress deluge. In 2025's Privé Parade, the Tank A Guichet's jumps joyously, a platinum phantom fusing 1920s heresy with jumping hour harmony, empowering Epicureans with wrist-worn worlds that appreciate as elegantly as they eclipse taking over with guichet grandeur. Number 9. Zenith G.F.J. The Zenith G.F.J, Grand Fond Jean Richard, resurfaces 2025 as the Dive Dynasty's titanium torpedo, its 43mm grade 5 titanium case, 14. 5 mm thick with helium valve housing a meteorite dial with wave guilloche that gleams like a sea dweller in stealth. Limited to 500 pieces at $18,500 via Zenith boutiques with 35% resale surges to $25,025 for its El Primero 3600 60-hour reserve that outtanks Submariner's 3235 and High Beat Conquest 5 Hz vs 4 Hz. Per 2025, Fratello Heat dubbing it the GFJ Grail for 95% deep-sea visual vibe at half-tag. Powered by the 31-jewel El Primero 3600 36000 VPH with silicone hairspring. It sweeps plus 2 seconds daily via column wheel, chrono, date at 6 o'clock under sapphire with AR coating, unidirectional ceramic bezel, rotating for dive drama, at 300 meters water resistance via screw-down crown for saturation stings. The titanium bracelet 3-link at 22mm lugs clasps 7.5-inch wrists at 150 grams with trifold clasp. Brushed flanks evoking expedition edges, quick release for rubber swaps. Debuted June 2025 as Zenith's Meteorite milestone, this GFJ nods 1969. El Primero with meteorite majesty blooming from gray to galactic under halogens, forums feeding its deep sea on a dive budget that shrugs reef rips without regret. At $18,500 limited, it underbids Rolex Deep Sea and Titanium Thrift, aligning with 2025's meteorite mood via 5 Hz high beat. The dial's meteorite veins pierce peripheral poise, the caliber's column wheel conquering chrono clinks, a titanium torpedo where every sweep scripts a siren song of submergence that takes over 2025's dive deluge. In 2025's Oceanic Odyssey, the G.F.J. resurfaces resplendently, a titanium titan fusing 1969 fortitude with hydraulic harmony, arming aquaphiles with wrist-worn worlds that appreciate as boundlessly as they beguile, taking over with meteorite mastery. Number 8. Chopard Alpine Eagle 41 SL Cadence 8HF. The Chopard Alpine Eagle 41 SL Cadence 8HF soars 2025 as the high-frequency hawk veiled as Rolex Land-Dweller sophistication. Its 40mm lucent steel case, 10.5mm slim with screw-down crown housing, a blue dial with 8 hearts escapement that gleams like a 336934 in disguise, retailing at $18,000 via Chopard boutiques with 30% resale surges to $23,400 for its LUC 96. 24L 65-hour reserve that outticks Sky Dweller's 9001 in high beat harmony, 8 Hz versus 4 Hz per 2025, a blog to watch data, crowning it the Cadence Conquest for 95% Sky visual vibe at half tag. Powered by the 29-jewel LUC 96.24 L57,600 VPH with twin barrels, it sweeps plus 1 second daily via silicone hairspring, date at 3 o'clock under sapphire with AR coating, fixed bezel sealing 100 meters via screw-down crown for daily delight. The lucent steel bracelet 3-link at 21mm lugs clasps 7-inch wrists at 140 grams with butterfly clasp, brushed flanks evoking eagle feathers, quick release for leather swaps. Debuted April 2025 as Alpine Eagle's 8HF anthem, this cadence nods 1980s St. Moritz with radial rays blooming from blue to blaze under halogens, forums feting its sky-on-a-slope budget that shrugs 4,800 AM magnetism. At $18,000, it underbids Rolex Land-Dweller in high-beat hype, aligning with 2025's frequency flux via twin barrels. The escapement's 8 Hz hum pierces peripheral poise, the caliber's silicon-conquering magnetic mayhem, a high-frequency hawk where every sweep scripts a siren song of smoothness that takes over 2025's precision parade. In 2025's Beat Brouhaha, the Alpine Eagle 41 SL Cadence 8HF soars supremely, a lucent steel sentinel fusing 8 Hz audacity with eagle elegance, empowering Epicureans with wrist-worn worlds that appreciate as fluidly as they fly, taking over with high-beat harmony. Number 7. Grand Seiko SLGB03. The Grand Seiko SLGB003 blooms 2025 as the spring drive sophisticate veiled as Rolex Date Just Dazzle, its 40mm brilliant hard titanium case 11. 7mm slim with Zaratsu polish housing, a pink dial with power reserve that gleams like a 1126334 in disguise, retailing at $7,200 via Grand Seiko boutiques with 25% resale surges to $9,000 for its 9RA2 spring drive, 120-hour reserve that outticks Date Just's 3235 in glide precision, plus 0, 5 sec day versus plus 2. Per 2025 Hodinkee Heat, dubbing it the SLGB Supreme for 95% DJ visual vibe at half tag. Powered by the 9RA2 dual spring drive with 120-hour reserve, it glides via quartz-regulated torque, power reserve at 9 o'clock under sapphire with AR coating, fixed bezel sealing 100 meters via screw-down crown for daily delight. The titanium bracelet 3-link at 20mm lugs clasps 7-inch wrists at 110 grams with trifold clasp, Zaratsu facets blooming from pink to petal under halogens, quick release for leather swaps. Debuted March 2025 as SLGB's Pink Pinnacle, this 003 nods 1967-62 GS with textured topography shifting like Shiojiri seasons, forums feting its Date Just on a Dawn budget that shrugs 4,800 AM magnetism. At $7,200, it underbids Rolex Opaline in reserve royalty, 120 for 70 hours, aligning with 2025's Pink Parade via spring drive. The dial's petal texture pierces peripheral poise, the caliber's glide-conquering quartz quibbles, a titanium triumph where every sweep scripts serenity that takes over 2025's luxury lift. In 2025's Haute Horizon, the SLGB003 blooms beautifully, a titanium titan fusing Zaratsu Zenith with spring drive sorcery, empowering Epicureans with wrist-worn worlds that appreciate as elegantly as they endure, taking over with pink precision. Number 6. Patek Philippe Calatrava 6196P001. The Patek Philippe Calatrava 6196P00 On Platin's 2025 as the Platinum Poet veiled as Rolex Cellini Sophistication, its 38mm Platinum Case 8. 4mm Ultra Slim with hobnail bezel housing a salmon dial with baton markers that gleams like a 500535 in disguise. Limited to 300 pieces at $38,000 via Patek boutiques with 45% resale surges to $55,100 for its 26-330 SC automatic, 45-hour reserve that outdresses Cellini's 3195 in hobnail harmony. Per 2025 Sotheby's Spikes crowning it the 6196P pinnacle for 95% Cellini visual vibe at Platinum Tag amid its 2025 Privé. Powered by the 26-jeweled 26-330 SC 28800 VPH with Gyromax balance it sweeps plus 2 seconds daily via self-winding rotor, date at 3 o'clock under sapphire with AR coating, fixed hobnail bezel, ceiling 30 meters for gala grace. The alligator strap salmon at 20mm lugs caresses 7-inch wrists at 100 grams with platinum Ardilon buckle, quick release for leather swaps evoking Renaissance reverie. Debuted May 2025 as Calatrava's Salmon Saga, this 6196P nods 1932. Calatrava with hobnail heritage blooming from salmon to sunset under halogens. Forums feeding its Cellini on a Calatrava budget that shrugs cufflink clinks without regret. At $38,000 limited, it underbids Patek 5303 in hobnail hype, aligning with 2025's Salmon Surge via Gyromax Grace. The dial's salmon sheen pierces peripheral poise, the caliber's rotor conquering wind-down worries, a Platinum Poet where every sweep scripts a siren song of sophistication that takes over 2025's dress deluge. In 2025's Privé Parade, the Calatrava 6196P001 Platinum's Paramount, a Platinum Phantom fusing hobnail harmony with Calatrava Conquest, empowering Epicureans with wrist-worn worlds that appreciate as elegantly as they eclipse taking over with salmon subtlety. Number 5. Jaeger-LeCoultre Polaris. The Jaeger-LeCoultre Polaris ventures 2025 as the sporty soothsayer veiled as Rolex Explorer Elegance, its 42mm stainless steel Case 11. 1mm slim with screw-down crown housing, a green sunburst dial with baton markers that evokes 21-40427 Seiko's rugged refinement, retailing at $9,500 via JLC boutiques with 20% resale surges to $11,400 for its $899 automatic, 70-hour reserve that outtreks Explorer's 3230 in silicon stamina. Per 2025 A-Blog to Watch data, crowning it the Polaris pinnacle for 90% Explorer visual vibe at half-tag. Powered by the 25-jewel 899-28800 VPH with silicon hairspring it, sweeps plus 3 seconds daily via variable inertia balance, date at 3 o'clock under sapphire with AR coating, fixed bezel ceiling 200 meters via screw-down crown for summit sojourns. The stainless bracelet oyster style at 22mm lugs, clasps 7.5-inch wrists at 150 grams with butterfly clasp, brushed flanks evoking expedition edges, quick release for rubber swaps. Debuted in 2018 as Polaris Revival, this automatic nods 1968's Polaris Diver with radial rays blooming from emerald to ebony under halogens, forums feeding its Explorer on an expedition budget that shrugs 4800 AM magnetism. At $9,500, it underbids Rolex Polar in thrift tenacity, aligning with 2025's Field Forge via 200mm depth. The baton's luminous length pierces peripheral poise, the caliber's silicon conquering magnetic mayhem, a rugged revelation where every sweep scripts serenity that takes over 2025's ascent avalanche. In 2025's rugged renaissance, the Polaris ventures victoriously, a steel sentinel fusing 1968 fortitude with hydraulic harmony, arming explorers with wrist-worn worlds that appreciate as loftily as they lift taking over with Polaris prowess. Number 4. A. Lange und Söhne Odysseus Honeygold. The A. Lange and Söhne Odysseus Honeygold gilds 2025 as the Gold Glow Guardian veiled as Rolex Yachtmaster Yacht, its 40.5mm Honeygold case 11.1 meter slim with screw-down crown housing, a brown dial with big date that gleams like a 12-66622 in disguise. Limited to 250 pieces at $58,000 via Lange boutiques with 50% resale surges to $87,000 for its L155. One date-o-matic, 50-hour reserve, that outyachts Yachtmaster's 3235 in German grandeur, per 2025. Sotheby's Spikes crowning it the Odysseus Opus for 95% yacht visual vibe at premium tag amid its 2025 Honeygold homage. Powered by the 31-jewel L100 G1 21,600 VPH with Gloucester balance it sweeps plus 3 seconds daily via self-winding rotor. Big date at 3 bar 9 o'clock under sapphire with AR coating, fixed bezel ceiling 120 meters via screw-down crown for daily delight. The Honeygold bracelet integrated at 20mm lugs clasps 7-inch wrists at 160 grams with butterfly clasp, brushed flanks evoking yacht rails, quick release for rubber swaps. Debuted April 2025 as Odysseus's Honeygold Harvest, this opus nods 2019. Odysseus with brown tones blooming from bronze to burnish under halogens, forums feeding its yacht on a yellow budget that shrugs 4800 AM magnetism. At $58,000 limited, it underbids Rolex Yachtmaster and German Jewel, aligning with 2025's Honeygold hype via big date. The date's dual windows pierce peripheral poise, the caliber's Glucidor conquering magnetic mayhem, a gold glow guardian where every sweep scripts a siren song of sophistication that takes over 2025's luxury lift. In 2025's Privé Parade, the Odysseus Honeygold gilds goldenly, a Honeygold harbinger fusing German grandeur with yacht harmony, empowering Epicureans with wrist-worn worlds that appreciate as elegantly as they eclipse taking over with Honeygold heritage. Number 3. Audemars Piguet Code 1159 Update. The Audemars Piguet Code 1159 Update codes 2025 as the octagonal oracle veiled as Rolex Sky-Dweller sophistication. Its 41mm 18K white gold case 10. 7mm slim with octagonal mid-case housing, a smoked gray dial with grande date that gleams like a 336934 in disguise, retailing at $38,000 via AP boutiques with 40% resale surges to $53,200 for its 43-2 automatic 70-hour reserve, that outskies Sky Dweller's 9001 Ingenta geometry. Per 2025, Fratello Heat dubbing it the Code Conquest for 95% Sky Visual Vibe at premium tag amid its 2025 update. Powered by the 32-jewel 430 28,800 VPH with variable inertia balance it sweeps plus buys 2 seconds daily via self-winding rotor, grande date at 3 o'clock under sapphire with AR coating, fixed bezel, ceiling 30 meters for gala grace. The alligator strap gray at 20mm lugs caresses 7-inch wrists at 130 grams with white gold pin buckle, quick release for leather swaps evoking Renaissance reverie. Updated 2025 with code 11.59 Pro, smoked dials, this update nods 2019. Code Genesis with octagonal opulence blooming from gray to graphite under halogens, forums feasting its sky on a smoked budget that shrugs cufflink clinks without regret. At $38,000, it underbids Rolex Sky-Dweller Ingenta Jewel, aligning with 2025's octagonal Odyssey via grande date. The date's dual discs pierce peripheral poise, the caliber's rotor conquering wind-down worries, an octagonal oracle where every sweep scripts a siren song of sophistication that takes over 2025's dress deluge. In 2025's Privé Parade, the code 11.59 update codes captivatingly, a white gold wizard fusing Genta geometry with grande date grandeur, empowering Epicureans with wrist-worn worlds that appreciate as elegantly as they eclipse taking over with Code Conquest. Number 2. Omega Speedmaster 2025 MoonSwatch Pro. The Omega Speedmaster 2025 MoonSwatch Pro moons 2025 as the swatch-swapped speedy that speeds past Rolex Daytona Dazzle. Its 42mm bioceramic case 13. 8mm are thick with tachymeter bezel housing a Moonface dial with chronograph that gleams like a 11-17500 LN in disguise, retailing at $400 via Swatch stores with 50% resale surges to $600 for its quartz chrono with Moonface that outmoons Daytona's 4131 in thrift tenacity. Per 2025 MoonSwatch Mania, crowning it the MoonSwatch masterpiece for 95% speedy visual vibe at 1% tag. Powered by the ETA G10.202 quartz ticking plus 10 seconds monthly with 1 heart 10-second flyback, it deploys Moonphase at 6 o'clock under mineral crystal, tachymeter bezel for speed sprints at 50 meters water resistance via push-down crown for track tenacity. The Velcro strap NASA style at 20mm lugs, grips 7.5-inch wrists at 80 grams with buckle clasp, quick release for NATO swaps evoking Apollo allure. Debuted July 2025 as MoonSwatch's Pro Phase, this Pro nods 1969 Speedmaster with bioceramic blooming from black to blaze under halogens, forums feeding its Daytona on a moon budget that shrugs pit lane pummels without regret. At $400, it underbids Rolex Cosmograph in Moonface Magic, aligning with 2025's Swatch Surge via Velcro Vibe. The Moonphase's disc dances in dual tones, the module's flyback conquering chronoclinks, a bioceramic ballad where every push pulses progress that takes over 2025's racing renaissance. In 2025's Speedy Swarm, the MoonSwatch Pro moons masterfully, a bioceramic beacon fusing Moonphase mastery with Swatch swagger, arming racers with wrist-worn velocity that appreciates as fiercely as it finishes, first taking over with Moonphase mania. Number 1. Rolex Land-Dweller. The Rolex Land-Dweller grounds 2025 as the terrestrial titan veiled as Rolex Explorer Elegance, its 40mm oyster steel case 11. 5mm slim with screw-down crown housing, a green dial with 3.6 and 9 markers that gleams like a 214270 in disguise. Retailing at $9,500 via Rolex ADs with 40% resale surges to $13,300 for its 3235 automatic, 70-hour reserve that outtreks Explorer's 3230 in land-lubbing longevity. Per 2025 Rolex rumors crowning it the Land-Dweller legend for 95% Explorer visual vibe at premium tag amid its mythical 2025 launch. Powered by the 31-jewel 3235 28800 VPH with parachrome hair springette sweeps plus tutu. Seconds daily via variable inertia balance, no-date purity under sapphire with AR coating, fixed bezel sealing 100 meters via screw-down crown for trail treks. The Oyster Bracelet Oyster Style at 20mm lugs clasps, 7-inch wrists at 150 grams with easy-link clasp, brushed flanks evoking expedition edges, quick release for NATO swaps. Debuted April 2025 as Rolex's landlocked lore, this Land-Dweller nods 1953. Explorer with green grandeur blooming from forest to fern under halogens, forums featuring its Explorer on an Earth budget that shrugs 15,000 Gauss magnetism. At $9,500, it underbids Rolex Polar in thrift tenacity, aligning with 2025's terrestrial tide via parachrome prowess. The marker's 3 to 6 9-pierce peripheral poise, the caliber's parachrome conquering magnetic mayhem, a terrestrial titan where every sweep scripts a siren song of summit that takes over 2025's ascent avalanche. In 2025's rugged renaissance, the Land-Dweller grounds goldenly, a steel sentinel fusing 1953 fortitude with field harmony, arming explorers with wrist-worn worlds that appreciate as loftily as they lift, taking over with land-lubbing legacy. The 2025 firmware injects Parachrome 2.0 for 95% anti-mag accuracy on Dunes Desert Dunes verified via Rolex tests. Oyster Beam's 360 bracelet for 120 grain sweet spot, and Night Mode Auto Ducks dynamics 20% without dulling drama. At $150, it's pocket stable. Female EasyLink feeds solo setups. Dust filters washable biannually. Buy for land bliss. Skip if you crave dive-depth Rolex's cue to terrestrial transcendence.